Yo, when will everybody learn? They just won't learn. I'm losing my mind thinking about this, bro. I don't know whatever happened to a goldfish. Whatever happened to a goldfish? A turtle, a gerbil. Is that something? Is it a gerbil? Whatever them little things is, man. What happened to that? Those type of little cute, cuddly little animals. You know what I'm saying? Those. A bird, parrot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are getting crazy out here. I don't know if it's ego that think you can tame these animals, bro. But these animals, you ever go up to like a dog and he be doing this? Like, that's what these animals, these crazy animals be doing. They just be playing with y'all till they feel like smacking you across the face when they get ready to. I watched the lady the other day in that video, man, with the alligator. And it looked like they was at one of those, like those alligator little theme park places or whatever you call them, where you go pet the alligators and watch people. You only allowed to pet the ones that got the tape around their mouth, but you could stand behind this thick glass and watch them feed the alligator. And it was this huge dinosaur looking alligator, right? He looked like he'd been here since the dinosaurs. And she was holding his food and everything, and she went to, and he snapped and got her hand. And then he went into now this, I don't know if her training kicked in or what, or her life-saving skills or what. He went to roll, but he was so big that his roll wasn't as fast as some of the smaller alligators that you see. So when he went to start rolling, she was able to kind of roll with him, and I think it kind of preserved her hand, arm, or whatever it was, while the other trainers came in there to help get her out. You know what I'm saying? I think we talked about the story once before, but it's still at the forefront of my brain, man. So shout outs to They Will Kill You. That's the name of the channel, believe it or not, that this video is coming from. It says, when animal taming goes wrong. You know why it's tons of these videos, man? Because there's tons of idiots in the world that think they can tame these wild animals, bro. And you can't. You can't, bro. You just can't. It's more bad videos and more bad situations and instances out there than good, man. Seriously. So we're going to check this video out, man. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the fam. And once you join the fam, man, let's acknowledge the haters real quick. This is how we do it. Moment of silence. That's enough. Now run the likes up, baby. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And prayers for everybody in the New York City area affected by Hurricane Ida. Can't say that enough, man. Thoughts and prayers are with those guys.
Number 10, Kelsey Safari. Kelsey Safari became known to the world through Netflix's highly popular true crime documentary, Tiger King.
Oh, yeah. That was, I think it was a girl, right? Lost her arm, and she kept working there, bro. And didn't even blame me, like, nah, it wasn't his fault. I messed up.
Was seen as one of Joe Exotic's most level-headed employees. This was in spite of Safari suffering a horrific injury while working with the animal park's felines. At the time of the incident, the Army veteran was 27 years old. Instead of using the stick he was provided, Safari reached his arm inside a cage while feeding one of the tigers. Even though the feline was supposed to be tamed, it reacted according to its predatory instinct and viciously mauled Safari's limb. When told about the accident, Joe Exotic reacted by saying, "I am never going to financially recover from this."
What's your emergency? Hey, this is Bobby at the GW Zoo. I need a helicopter. I've got an employee that was attacked by a tiger, and he's hurt bad.
Safari was rushed to the hospital.
Oh, so it was a dude. It wasn't a girl. I thought it was a woman. It was a dude, though. But,
where he was told it would take about 2 years and multiple reconstructive surgeries for him to regain the use of his arm. Safari chose to have the limb amputated and returned to work only 5 days later.
That's what it was. That was the 5 days, bro, after losing, like, a part of your arm, fam. You back at work 5 days later. Now, that's a different type of dedication, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a different type of dedication, man. I'm not going, like, no. Like, that tiger, that cage being there spared your life, and you went right back out there. That's a different kind of love, bro. I ain't got that much love in me.
Quickly took full responsibility for the attack, claiming that it was neither the tiger nor Joe Exotic's fault. Number 9. Valentin Bulic. 28-year-old Valentin Bulic had gotten his start at one of Russia's top circuses as a cage cleaner. Bulic had aspirations of becoming a trainer, so he started working with the bear cubs. His confidence as an animal handler increased to the point that he thought he was ready to work with the adults. Yasha was a 7-year-old brown bear known for several stunts, both inside and outside of the circus. He had been taken to visit a Russian football team and was also filmed pushing the wheelchair of an injured circus performer. Yasha was trusted to approach humans, which is presumably why Bulic thought it was safe for him to practice his skills as a tamer with the bear. Bulic believed he would find a common language with the animal. In October of 2020, during the performer's day off, he secretly took the keys to Yasha's cave. Bulic then locked himself inside the enclosure with the bear. It would prove to be a fatal decision. Yasha charged the man and basically tore him apart. The bear clawed at his body and ripped off his scalp, killing him instantly. Since Bulic...
God. Ah! Tore off his scalp. Like, you don't realize the power of some of these animals, bro. And we thinking like, come on, jab, smack him in the face. No. No, he gonna give you one of those one-hitter quitters. And in this situation, it was a one-hitter killer. He ripped his skull off. Like, bro, let's go back to respecting these animals, man. Respecting these animals and knowing our place on the food chain. That's what we forget. Knowing our place on the food chain.
She committed a severe safety violation. Yasha remained unharmed in the fatal attack's aftermath. Number 8. Patty Perry. In December of 2019, conservationist Patty Perry was mauled by 2 of the tigers in her care. The 66-year-old woman had founded Wildlife Environmental Conservation, which housed over 50 animals on a California property. They included leopards, zebras, and birds of prey. Perry...
It's another Carol Baskin. Nah, let me stop.
California property. They included leopards, zebras, and birds of prey. Perry had raised the tigers, each weighing several hundred pounds, since they were babies. It was during playtime that one of the felines wrapped its paws against Perry's legs and brought her to the ground. The other tiger then pounced on the woman and proceeded to claw at her body. Perry sustained several puncture wounds to her head and shoulder before sanctuary staff pulled her to safety. She was rushed to the hospital, but wasn't considered to be in life-threatening danger. In the incident's aftermath, the conservationist claimed she didn't believe the tigers had meant to hurt her and that her wounds had been the result of rough play. Number 7. Jennifer Brown.
Y'all see what rough play do to you, huh? Rough play.
In May of 2020, zookeeper Jennifer Brown was viciously attacked while cleaning the lion's enclosure at the Shoalhaven Zoo in New South Wales, Australia. The animals, a pair of large cubs named Ariel and Judah, were brothers. They'd been bred at the zoo and were considered tame. Nevertheless, as Brown entered the enclosure, the lions pounced and mauled her. The zookeeper's life was saved when 2 of her colleagues rushed to her aid and drove the lions away. Paramedics were called to the scene and worked on Brown for 2 hours before she was airlifted to a hospital. The attack, which one emergency worker described as extremely vicious, left her with severe injuries to her head and neck. Doctors eventually managed to stabilize her condition. A decision was subsequently made not to euthanize Ariel and Judah. Number 6. James Davis. For over 30 years, Mo the chimpanzee lived in suburban Los Angeles with James and LaDonna Davis. They'd rescued the animal in 1967 after Tanzanian poachers had killed his mother. Then, in 1999, Mo bit off part of a neighbor's finger and also attacked a local police officer. It's worth mentioning that chimpanzees, despite generally being smaller in size, are considerably stronger than adult humans. The couple was told they had to place Mo in an animal facility. They cared for the chimpanzee like he was their child and kept regularly visiting him at his new home. In 2005, they even brought him a cake to celebrate his 39th birthday. Unbeknownst to the couple, 4 other supposedly tamed chimps had escaped from the facility during their visit. 2 males, Ollie and Buddy, then attacked the couple. One bit LaDonna's thumb off, but James managed to push her under a picnic table. Ollie and Buddy then unleashed an attack of incredible brutality on the 62-year-old man. They chewed most of his face off, including his lips and cheeks.
Come on, man. Yo, like, how many more people gotta experience this before we say enough is enough, man? Like, you should be fined, you should be arrested, you should be, for finding out you out here either trying to tame these animals and stuff. How many more people gonna have to go through this type of situation, bro? Like, look at it, man. Remember the story we watched not too long ago with the chimpanzee, man? Remember? And it tore that lady's, like, rearranged her face. Remember her? The lady was on the phone with 911 screaming, and you heard him in the background. He was going crazy on that lady. Like, come on, man. How many more people got to go through this before we realize this ain't the way to go, bro?
They tore off his nose and gouged out one of his eyes. The chimps mutilated Davis's limb and genitals. The severely disfigured man would be confined.
That's where I draw the line right there. Messing with the genitals. No, that's where I draw the line, bro. All right, y'all have at it. Ain't no way. You can't take my man.
To a wheelchair for the rest of his life, even though he'd been extensively mauled. The first thing the man asked when he awoke from a medically induced coma was if Mo was all right. The chimp was moved to a different facility, and the Davises kept visiting him. Then in 2008,
I hope Mo is what you call your man. That is the first thing I'm checking on when I woke up. Not the chimp, me.
Mo escaped the facility and was never seen again. Number 5, Roy Horn. From the early 1990s and right into the 2000s, German-American entertainers Siegfried and Roy put together what was arguably the most visited show in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then, on October 3rd of 2003, on his birthday, Roy Horn suffered career-ending injuries during the show at the Mirage. Horn held his microphone to a giant white tiger named Manticore and asked him to say hello to the crowd. Suddenly, the feline bit into Horn's sleeve. The entertainer responded by swatting Manticore and ordered him to release. Horn then lost his balance, tripped, and fell on his back. The powerful animal pounced on him, bit into his neck, and then dragged him off stage. Horn's spine was severed, and he sustained severe injuries that would forever impact his verbal and motor abilities. The man suffered a stroke as well, although it's unclear if it was before or during the attack. Trainers finally got Manticore to let go after spraying him with fire extinguishers. As Horn was being rushed to the hospital, he maintained that the tiger was a great cat and asked that no harm come to him. While some have contested the statement, Horn would later claim that Manticore had actually tried to save his life by dragging him to safety after he'd had a stroke. Number 4, Pierre Spendler.
Now, whether or not that was true, I don't know. I have heard that animals do have a keen sense to know when something like that is wrong. They can like pick up, or if you have like a disease or something, on the onset of something, or stomach virus. Like, I've heard of that before, so he could have been right in that situation though.
After a performance at the Mitzpah Shrine Temple's annual circus in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 3 Asian elephants were being loaded onto a trailer. Each of the animals weighed over 7,000 pounds, meaning they were nearly twice as heavy as the average car. The final steps of the loading procedure were being handled by 40-year-old trainer Pierre Spendler. The man had been left alone to latch a gate and secure the animals. Then, one of the security bars that he'd been holding onto broke, and he fell on the floor of the trailer. As one expert argued, when it comes to working with elephants, a trainer on the ground has no power and will be treated like any other object at the animal's feet. The 3 enormous beasts stomped Spendler to death. It's been reported that there'd been no viciousness to their behavior. They'd simply crushed him out of curiosity, as it's common for elephants to kick and stomp on things that they can't see. Number 3, Ettore Weber. During a rehearsal at Circo Orfei, one of Italy's most famous circuses, a renowned animal trainer was mauled to death by 4 tigers. 61-year-old Ettore Weber was rehearsing with the felines when one of them pounced and knocked him down. The others joined in and started tearing into the man's body. Some of Weber's colleagues had unsuccessfully tried to distract the beasts after savaging the trainer. The tigers played with his body for nearly half an hour until circus staff mounted an intervention and drove them away. Weber suffered extensive injuries, including severe trauma to the spine. If it doesn't deliver a suffocating bite to the throat, a tiger will sometimes bite the back of its prey's neck, severing the connection between the spine and the head. Weber's injuries proved fatal. In the aftermath of the attack, an intention was stated of relocating the tigers to a safari park. Today's topic was requested by Thomas Nijoff. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Marius Els. South African farmer Marius Els developed a close relationship with a hippo he'd raised since the animal was 5 months old. Els named the hippo Humphrey and regarded him as a member of the family. The two would go swimming together, and Els could often be seen riding the hippo. Many had told the 40-year-old army major that taming a hippopotamus was impossible and that he was actively risking his life. Humphrey had chased golfers, killed calves, and attacked a man and his grandson who were canoeing on the river that passed through the farm. The hippo's human victim survived, but it was evident that his temper couldn't be managed. Hippos are notorious for their aggression and are frequently listed among Africa's deadliest animals. One day in the fall of 2011, Humphrey turned on Els. By that point, Humphrey already weighed well over a ton. There was nothing that the unarmed farmer could do to stop the hippo from brutally biting into his body. Els was fatally gouged by Humphrey, who he'd once described as being like a son to him. Number 1. Shaheen Islam. During a performance at a circus in Alexandria, northern Egypt, an animal tamer was mauled to death by a massive male lion. 35-year-old Shaheen Islam was given a presentation to students when the animal turned on him. Islam stood nose to nose with the dangerous predator and used a stick to guide its movement. Then, as he turned to the side, the 440-pound beast charged him. The attack was swift and exceptionally brutal. It only took a few seconds for the lion to inflict devastating damage. By the time other circus workers chased it off Islam, it was already too late. The man has sustained deep cuts to his face, neck, and abdomen, as well as broken bones in his chest and a fractured skull. Islam died in a hospital a few days later. Thanks for watching. Would you rather spend...
Bro, I know we've seen a lot of these videos, but it never gets old to me at all. Like, yeah, some people just don't learn, man. You just can't tame some of these animals, man. You know? And what's the ones you always reoccur that you always see? Lions, tigers. I know somebody said bears. Oh my. But you see the same things. Lions, tigers, chimpanzees, what else was in the video? Bears as well. Yeah. Like, you see the same things. Raise them up. That elephant stomping, that was crazy. Hadn't seen that before, heard about that, but it's good to know. It's good to know. Y'all be careful, man. These animals aren't meant to be tamed, so y'all be careful. You know what I mean? Because I doubt it's going to stop at all. So all you can do is hope they be careful, all right? Listen, man, I want to end the video the same way we started, man. Prayers to everyone affected by Ida, whether Louisiana, NYC, or any other place, man. Prayers are out to you, bro. All right? It's your boy L. To the next reaction of my piece. Y'all stay solid. Ayy.